Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Lily, and I am so happy that you are here with me. In today's video, I am going to do a brief flip through of one of my personal junk journals. Now, this is one that for some reason I thought I had already shared with you, but as I looked through my inventory of videos, I did not see it on there. In fact, I don't think I've done a flip through of any personal junk journals other than my December daily a couple years ago. But this is one that I came across that wasn't packed away. I had it stashed in some of my current things. And look at it. It is so thick. It was one of the very first junk journals that I made. And I want to say it was around 2016, maybe early 2017, but look at it. It has I think that binding is, not the binding, the spine is about 2.5 inches wide, and it has 5 signatures. I didn't do any stitching. Now, this is in the beginning when I was experimenting with different techniques, and this was one of the easiest methods that I found to do when I was first beginning to create junk journals. And I also made this from repurposing, I believe it was food packaging. It could have been a cereal box. Those are the easiest substrates to use for junk journals. And look at how thick that is. That has, and I measured it after I recorded the video, that has a 5-inch alligator mouth. And no matter how tightly I bound it, it's still 5 inches. Look at it. If I squeeze it really tight, maybe I can get it down to 4 inches, but it is a 5-inch alligator mouth. And this junk journal is full of the most random of things. And I've mentioned in the past that some of my personal junk journals have just all of those random bits and pieces that we collect that live on my desk for months at a time. And I thought that having a junk journal where I can store them would be absolutely perfect, and this is a perfect example of that. This is a magazine cutout of one of my favorite outfits. I absolutely love it, and in fact, I have it. I have that coat, I have those pants, and it is my all-time favorite outfit. So when I put this one together, I really didn't know what I was doing. After I created it, I realized that this is too thick for my liking. I love looking at it, and it does provide me with tons of inspiration because it holds a lot of the things that I've created throughout the years. And so it brings me joy and happiness, and it has a lot of great memories in here. For example, this is an invitation for my nephew and his wife's wedding, and that was, when was that? 2017. So that was really nice. And I remember when I was first learning to junk journal, I was watching so many videos, and I was on Pinterest and Google and YouTube, just looking for ways and inspiration to create. And I applied a lot of different techniques and used a lot of different papers and junk and just kind of put it all together. And this is the result of that. Things that I've purchased, packaging. Here's a repurposed calendar page. I have been making envelopes from calendar pages, I want to say, since high school or shortly after high school. And I remember my very first calendar pages were from a classic car calendar. And I remember turning those into envelopes. Lots of things that I've done throughout the years. Things I have colored, experimenting with colors and markers and pencils and different techniques. Pieces of ephemera that I really didn't know what to do with. And then photographs like this one that bring me, fond memories. That is a picture of shortly after I received this Jeep. It was actually my late brother's, and my sister-in-law gave it to me several years ago, so that was really nice. Here's another little magazine cutout of a favorite outfit, and I just tucked it into a mixed media tag. And I remember when I was making those tags, I was learning how to jelly print on my faux jelly print plate. So they're kind of wonky, but I love them, and I've used a lot of those. And jelly printing, it's my jam. I love it. This picture is of one of my houses that I bought. That one I bought in 2007. So I had great memories in that house. I've used packaging. I save most of the business cards from places that I go to. I save articles that are interesting to me. This was an article about the benefits of jumping rope. So that's one of my favorite restaurants. If you've not been to Cafe Rio, they're all over here in Utah, and there's some in California, and I believe also Nevada. It's a great Mexican grill restaurant, really good. And I've repurposed plastic packaging to use as envelopes and little tuck spots, and that held tickets from one of our trips to Disneyland. I used to love making clusters from scrap pieces of paper and scrapbooking paper. And I think I have a video one of the earlier videos that I made, and I would take a bunch of scraps, fabric and paper and ephemera, and I would just staple it together, and that was it. And I loved using those as tuck spots. Here's another magazine article, which I enjoyed reading, and it was The Rules of a Fight Club, how to play fair when you are having an argument, couples argument. And so I really like that article. Here's another wedding invitation. This is for my nephew and his wife. Excuse me. Some of my favorite notepads or sheets from the notepads, I save those. The binding technique that I used for this was very similar to Traveler's Notebook. It's not an elastic band, but I literally just took some twine and wrapped it around the signature, and that was it, and tied it. That is my daughter and her wedding invitation from 2016. And then I used a clothing tag as a tuck spot. So I save the majority of the clothing tags that I receive with my purchases. And I have a box full of them, and I like to use them in my personal junk journals. Again, other things that I've done, fussy cuts, more magazine articles, and I have gone back and read them again. This one has to do with fitness. Anything that has to do with health and fitness, I enjoy reading. And so if there is an article out there that catches my attention, I will save it. And look at that. It is an old business card from my Stampin' Up! Days. More business cards, my voter registration ballots. And I noticed that as I was flipping through this junk journal, I used a lot of vellum, decorative vellum pages. And I forget to do that in my junk journals. Like the junk journals that I have up on my Etsy shop. I forget to use those. So I need to remember to use more vellum because I love the look of it. Love the look of especially printed vellum. I think I was making reference to this being the third signature. And see that? The vellum, I love it, and I forget. And so it's nice to be able to thumb through old journals because they provide new ideas or ideas fresh ideas on things that I've worked on in the past. So this one almost serves as an idea junk journal. It really isn't, but it helps me. Here's another magazine cutout. That, I believe, is Kelly Cuoco. I think I'm saying her name right. And I just love that outfit that she was wearing and that top, so I saved it. More clothing tags. And I loved also using paper sacks and having the pockets in the paper sacks to tuck in items like this. This was an invitation to my niece's graduation party when she graduated from nursing school. So some things make it into my scrapbooks and my Project Life albums. And then there are other items like this that go into my journals or my junk journals. And it's fun. It's going down memory lane and looking at all of the random things that I collect and the little notes that I take, notes that I jot down. That is a note about a comment my youngest daughter made when she was 5 years old. That is a drawing that my granddaughter made me. Look at all these tags. So there is this gal in Arizona that she is a seamstress. She makes the nicest skirts, you guys, and she works from home. She is a stay-at-home mom, runs her own little, her own business. I'm not going to say little business, but her pretty cool sewing business, and she makes these amazing skirts, and I think I own 24 of her skirts, and so I saved her little business cards. So she's out in Arizona, and I just love her skirts. I've lost a lot of weight, though. I've lost like 70 pounds. Yeah. And so I need to take in my skirts because they're a little bit loose. 70 pounds is a lot of weight. And it didn't happen overnight. It took me a long time. But I don't want to give up her skirts, so I just need to figure out a way to take them in. And I'm thinking, if I can sew in junk journals, I can take in a couple inches from a skirt. More pictures, and then more business cards. This is a business card from one of my favorite vintage shops that used to be in Signal Hill, California. She has since closed down, but I love that little shop. So it's fun to look through all of the business cards and the places that I have visited. And also, I'm just looking at all the different ways I've used note papers and little tuck spots, how I've repurposed packaging. Those are more of my own personal business cards. That's from when I worked as an entertainment editor for a Spanish newspaper up in here in Utah. So if you have all of these random things and you just don't know where to put them, just make a junk journal and stick them in there. A magazine cutout, I'm pointing out at that, and I like that image. It looks so romantical. Lots of quotes too. So if I hear something or if I come across something, I'm going to write it down and I'm going to save it in the junk journal. And this one read, if you sit with winners at the table, the conversation will be different. It said something like that. More clothing tags to use as tuck spots. And now in this junk journal, I also, looking back, I used a lot of heavier papers, like heavier cardstock papers, which I don't do now. I try to use thinner papers because these created a lot of bulk. I like the way they feel because they gave the journal a lot of sturdiness. I had my 30-year high school reunion, and those were the name tags. Aren't they so cute? I graduated high school in 1987. Woo woo! some doodling, a picture of our book club meeting. That book club meeting was actually held in Salt Lake City, and I think that was 2018. And my best friend and I and her daughter, we drove up just for the book club meeting. Isn't that cool? Because the three of us were the only ones that lived out of state. Everyone else was here in Utah. And so it was worth the trip. See how I have one of those clusters there? It's just random pieces of paper stapled together and then attached to the corner of the page. This picture right here lived on my refrigerator for years. That picture was taken in 2007. So it's a little bit faded, but it was our very first family reunion on Easter Sunday of 2007. And ever since then, the family gets together on Easter Sunday in Downey, California. And so that is a great picture. There's another business card. That one is when I was working as a radio announcer for a Spanish radio station here in Utah County for a brief period. That was so much fun. I loved it. And this is one of my favorite quotes. Eyebrows speak louder than words. I love it. And so who better than Frida to be a part of that quote? So I really enjoy looking through this. Here's another one. This quote is pretty cool. This was a commercial, a CoverGirl commercial that I heard on television, and I really, really liked it. So that was a great quote. So if I come across something interesting, here's another one. I will jot it down. If you win the morning, you win the day. Truth, you guys. That speaks the truth. Here's some pictures of my daughter when she was pregnant with my grandson. He is now 5 years old. And my daughter had a baby shower, and she had these strung on like a banner. It was so cute. And I took them. I took the banner down, and I took the pictures. More envelopes. One of my favorite techniques to do with the envelopes is attach them just like this to the pages so that they become a flip out. So I enjoy doing that. So lots of great inspiration for me. Even now as I'm looking through it, look at those cute tags. That was from a Mother's Day gift my sister gave me. I am so inspired to apply a lot of these elements and techniques into my current and future junk journals. Mixed media techniques I've done. More business cards. This orange blossom, they're on Instagram. They make the most beautiful handmade dolls. And one year I gave all of my nieces and my granddaughters these handmade dolls because they're just absolutely gorgeous. But vellum for sure, I need to use a little bit more of. And I need to make more of these cluster tuck spots. But yeah, this was fun. I enjoyed it. I hope that I find my other personal junk journals and I may share those if I take them out of storage. I honestly don't know what boxes they're in, but I hope I come across them soon. So this was fun, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I hope you did. And let me know what you think. But look at that beautiful fabric too. So that was great. The fact that I made that from a cereal box and used a scrap of fabric and just all of the great papers that I had in my stash and just a lot of different elements throughout. This was fun. It was fun going through this and sharing it with you. Let me know what you think. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Oh, and by the way, if you're watching and you're not subscribed, please subscribe for more of this. Thank you so much, you guys. Take care. Bye.